is the Writer's Almanac for Sunday. It's the 18th of July, 2021. It was on this day in 1976, Nadia Comaneci of Romania finished her routine on the uneven parallel bars at the Montreal Olympics and got a perfect score. It was the first one ever recorded in Olympic history, a score of 10.00. She was 14 years old, 4'11", weighed 88 pounds, got a perfect score on the balance beam as well and other events, and she went home with 3 gold medals. She won many more medals in competition in following years. Then she retired, and in 1989 she defected from communist Romania, traveling with others at night through Hungary and Austria, and flew to the United States. She became an American citizen in 2001. It's the birthday of Jessamine West, born Jennings County, Indiana, in 1902. Family moved to Orange County, California when she was young, where she grew up in her father's lemon grove. Her first book was a collection of short stories about Quakers, the friendly persuasion. She was a cousin of Richard Milhouse Nixon, and she babysat him when he was growing up. And it was on this day in 64 A.D. the Great Fire of Rome began, raged for 6 days. According to the historian Tacitus, it began in a dry goods store near the Circus Maximus. Some people blamed the Emperor Nero for the fire, and Nero blamed an obscure religious sect, the Christians, and tortured them to death in the amphitheater. Here's a poem for today by George Bilgier, entitled Jane. Jane, the old woman across the street, is lugging big black trash bags to the curb. It's snowing hard, and the bags are turning white, gradually disappearing in the storm. Jane is getting ready to put her house on the market and move into a home of some sort, a facility. She's just too old to keep the place going anymore. And as we chat about this on the sidewalk, I'm thinking I'm so glad this isn't going to happen to me. It seems like a terrible fate to drag out your trash bags and then head for a facility somewhere, and all the worse to be old in a facility. But then that's the whole reason you go there in the first place. But the great thing about being me, I'm thinking, as I continue my morning walk around the block, is that I'm not going to a facility of any sort. That's for older people. I intend to go on pretty much as I always have, enjoying life, taking my morning walk, then coffee and the newspaper, music and a good book, Europe vaguely in the summers, then another year just like this one, and so forth, and so on. Why change this? I have no intention of doing so. What Jane is doing, growing old, taking out her ominous black trash bags to vanish terribly in the snow, getting ready for someone to drive her to a facility. That may be her idea of the future, which I totally respect, but it certainly isn't mine. A poem by George Bilgier, Jane, from his collection Imperial, published by University of Pittsburgh Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.